Section 9.4 on radical operations relies heavily on 9.3, so make sure you've listened to that section first if you're not sure. So when we multiply two radicals, all we do is we multiply the numbers inside the radicals. So 10 times 20, which is in other words 200, and then you simplify just like you saw before. And if you go ahead and check on Desmos, you should find it's 10 square root of 2. 7 times 3 is 21. Now, if you check this one on Desmos, what you'll actually find is the right answer, it says, is 1 and 21. Notice that that's actually the same thing. Square root of 21 is the same thing as 1 square root of 21. So if something doesn't simplify, Desmos will also show you that as well. Number 3, we have a number in front of the question. We're just going to ignore that for the time being. We're just going to focus on this. So the square root of 25, actually you can just work it out. It's just 5. So 2 times 5 is 10. Not quite sure why we got the little asterisk here. I think that's supposed to be a multiplication symbol. So 200, and actually notice that's the same question as this one here, so the answer would also be 10 square root of 2. Question 5, find the area of a rectangle. So that's base times height, so we're going to multiply these two things together. So numbers first, 6 times 3, and then second, radical with radical, so 10 times 2 is 20. Check on Desmos to see if square root of 20 simplifies, and it comes out with 2 and 5. And then you can multiply these two numbers together as well. So 18 times 2 is 36. So that would be your final answer. When it comes to adding radicals and subtracting radicals, we just need to make sure that they have the same radical. So as these are both radical 2's here, all we're looking at is the coefficients, or the first numbers. So 3 add 5 is 8, so the answer is 8 radical 2. Do not add the radicals together to get 2 add 2 is 4. It's kind of similar to the question 3x plus 5x, where hopefully you would say it's 8x, because you just do 3 add 5 of whatever the item is. Number 7, if there's no number at the front, that means that it's a 1, so 1 radical 11 take away 3 radical 11 would be negative 2 radical 11. And as these are all cube roots of 7, 1 plus 1 is 2, take away 3 is negative 1. So you can either say negative 1 cube root of 7, or even better, you say negative cube root of 7. We don't need the 1 there as your answer in that question. Now these two you can't add together straight away because they're different radicals, so you've got to look, does this actually simplify? So try simplifying the square root of 50 using Desmos, and you should find that it's 5 square root of 2. And then we can simplify like we did earlier. 4 times 5 is 20. And then you can add these two together. So 6 add 20 is 26 radical 2. And I can add them together because they contain the same radical now. Now for number 10, these are not the same radical again, so we have to make them the same form. So 27, go ahead and simplify using methods we used earlier. And do the same for 48 as well. And now they do have the same radical, so 3 take away 4 is negative 1. And as previously shown, you don't really need to put the 1 there, so you could just put negative radical 3. And for the last question, I need to zoom back out a little bit so we can see. Complete this to make a true statement. This is one of your drag and drop type questions from the SOL. So we just multiply numbers with numbers, so 4 times 2 is 8, and radicals with radicals, 2 times 3 is 6. So your answer would be 8 radical 6, and you would just drag the 8 into this space and the 6 into this space. And that concludes section for 8.4 on simplifying radicals.